Christian Wade. My dream is to be in the NFL. In rugby, I won top try scorer of the league 3 times. I currently sit 3rd all-time try scorer in Premiership history.
Been a professional in rugby for over 10 years, and I was privileged to represent England and the British Lions and also play for Wasps, and it's been a fantastic experience, but I just got to the point where I needed a change up.
Yeah, with Buffalo, I guess it's similar to England, where you never know what weather you're going to get. So yeah, it's just good to finally get a week of good solid weather with the sun's out. You can actually be outside and enjoy the weather, especially when we're trying to train as well, because it wasn't nice having to train in the snow and the rain, especially when it's April, May time, you know. It's been good over here in America. Obviously, just finished my first year in the NFL. It was a great season for the Bills. Managed to make our way into the playoffs. Yeah, it was a pretty incredible moment, man. It's been a hard grind. Obviously, like actually retiring from rugby and then having to learn a new sport. Not only just learning a new sport, but having to adjust to a new culture and new way of life. Just the basic things like if I was going to the store, knowing what foods to buy, because everything's completely different unless you're buying Oreos. Huge adjustment to a different way of life and different style of training. Obviously, we're using different energy systems now as well. So, I mean, if I was try to do the England fitness test right now, I'll probably die out after 2 reps. But it's been a great experience, and just looking forward to this new season. A difficult start and a more challenging start than usual. I mean, the biggest thing that I probably got wrong coming into it, my approach was that the playbook was everything, and as long as I knew the playbook, then it would be like an easy transition. And that would be the biggest challenge, because I'm not used to having to learn a playbook, which is like an encyclopedia. That would be the only challenge. But once I had got into it and started learning the playbook and understood it, went out on the field, you realize that there's so many different intricacies in the game that I still needed to get used. Things are probably more important than the playbook, and that will take a lot of time to kind of adjust to. So there are a lot of similarities in terms of special teams is very, very similar to rugby in terms of like the kicking game, trying to play for territory and stuff. But the actual game itself, where we're in offense versus defense, is completely different. You're running loads of different routes. But when you're talking about routes in football, because I'm in America and there's like no English people around at all, I do catch myself saying certain things and I'm like, what the hell? Why am I saying that? Because it sounds weird. Yeah, I'm trying to keep the English accent as much as possible. Obviously, those that know me know that I don't necessarily speak the best English because I'm real relaxed with my whole persona and stuff, but I'm trying to hold on to it as much as possible. I haven't played in a regular season game, so I know that the physicality is definitely different in the season than it is in preseason. But obviously wearing the pads and stuff, you don't necessarily feel the hits as much because obviously you're protected up, but there are certain areas from the waist down that do obviously take a battering. And one thing that I kind of learned in pre-season is you have to kind of learn how to use your pads to protect yourself by getting lower and kind of dipping your shoulder a bit more, because I kind of used my forearm and I got a helmet to the forearm, and still to this day, it feels like it still feels fresh. I thought it had gone, because like to brush past stuff on my elbow, I mean, on my forearm, I wouldn't feel it. But then the other day, I kind of was just like massaging my elbow, and I was just like, it still feels fresh. So the physicality is probably around the same, but if you protect yourself, then it's probably a bit less. But yes, it's you have to know how to do that, which I'm still kind of adjusting to. I'll be going in full pelt, thinking that it's rugby, forgetting that they're wearing a helmet that can obviously do damage. The first person I actually saw playing rugby was Lomu. I think it was my dad. Like we as a family, we never really watched rugby, but obviously Lomu was like a world sensation, a bit like Michael Jordan was, where everyone, even if you didn't play rugby, you saw this huge Islander, New Zealander, like running over dudes, like carrying 5-6 guys on his back. So he was the first person I actually came across even before I was interested in rugby. Then once I got into it, I used to watch people like Jason Robinson, Shane Williams. I used to watch Will Ryder as well, William Ryder. Those are the guys I kind of emulated my agility, footwork, and like finishing skills on, because they had a similar build to me. And it was obviously, I don't want to kind of build my game on someone like Lomu, you know, those bigger dudes, because they do stuff that I would never be able to do. There's definitely space for like rugby players and all different shapes and sizes to be able to play the game of football, as long as you know what you're doing. It's a bit like rugby. You got your forwards, your bigger guys, heavier guys. You got your flankers are a bit more agile. Then obviously as you come out, the speed and agility increases. And it's the same in football. It's just that you could probably get guys who are even bigger playing football. There's definitely the possibility for people to transition either way. The good old days when Wasps was a London-based team, we had like almost like a hierarchy of locker rooms. So the first changing room 18, I think it was basically where all the like big dogs like your Paul Saki, Lawrence Delalio, Joe Worsley, like Ricky Flutie, like all the big dogs, Danny Sibley, everyone was in that changing room, and they had like nice refurbished showers, the ice tubs, they had nice lockers and stuff. Then as you worked your way down, you had changing room A, which would have like regular first team guys who probably weren't internationals but played regularly. Then you had changing room B, which was like the next kind of level down. Then C was kind of like your first year, first team guys who probably don't play yet, so they're on the fringes. Then you had changing room D, which is basically the academy changing room, which is where I started and everyone else. So once I started playing first team, I didn't move from changing room D, and I stayed there. And then I kind of changed the culture, because I was just like, I don't want to act like a big dog and be in changing room 17. So I stayed in the D block, and that's what we called it. And then you had players like Will Helu come in, you had Elvis Sevier-Lee, Solossi, all kinds of new players that came in, and they just came and joined me in changing room D. So that's where the name D block came, and we just kind of stayed in there, did our thing. Different players came in over the years, but it was a nice little vibe, a little brotherhood that we started up, which still carries on today, even though I'm not there. I recently had time to think, just like everyone else, just kind of to go over life and stuff, and just kind of look at what's important and what's not. But definitely last year, I was focused in on playing football, and that was all that was on my mind, just studying film, studying the plays, working on techniques and stuff. But obviously in the last couple of months, I've had time to watch a couple of rugby videos, kind of see what the guys have been up to, just kind of catching up with some of my friends in the rugby world and stuff. And it definitely brought back like memories of when I used to play, and obviously the great times we had as a team at Wasps. Helped me develop as a man, and obviously as a player and as an athlete. It definitely put me in a great position for me to be able to excel over here in the NFL as well. And obviously I retired from rugby, came to football obviously for a new challenge and stuff, but I'm still young. So obviously I think it all comes around to not being afraid to have the conversation, having a real good support network around you so that you can feel comfortable to, I don't like saying share problems. I'm just really talking about life, because I feel like just talking about life and situations that you're going through, or even whether they're good or bad, I think it helps with your mental health. And just having that support network around you will definitely help to steer you in the right direction, so that you can maintain a healthy lifestyle and maintain a healthy mind as well. So that would be the thing that I would give advice to. And right now doing some research into some mental health charities out there that I could hopefully partner with and bring my ideas to the table to help promote mental health and get people to start having that conversation and building a healthy support network around them. So I scored in my first home game for Wasps at Adams Park. We played against Leicester Tigers. And obviously everyone knows about the rivalry between Wasps and Leicester. And obviously we were taught that coming through the academy as well. So if I felt very passionate about that game, and I was fortunate to score a hat-trick. And the second try that I scored which is off a kick return, is definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, I got a pass from Hugo Southwell. I managed to like do my thing and score, so that's definitely in my top 3.
Christian Wade is the running back, and he gets.
I think everyone was kind of surprised that happened. Obviously, my first touch, and it was just an incredible moment for me. I knew where I was going even before the ball came, because they overloaded one side, so I was like, I'm definitely going up there. Then I was looking up the screen to see if any of the linebackers, if anyone was coming up behind me, because I know you got the best athletes in the world here, like just as fast as any running backs and wide receivers. So I was making sure I would take my tail and just trying to get to the end zone. Didn't know what to do. Everyone was celebrating, and I was like trying to celebrate but thinking about what am I supposed to do next, and everyone was like,